We arrived on Nezori. As we approached, the planet greeted us with a landscape that seemed ripped from a nightmare. The sky, covered by thick clouds of pollution and smoke, reflected a reddish hue, as if the very atmosphere were on fire. The view that unfolded before us was of a devastated and relentless world. Instead of fields or forests, there were vast metal factories stretching as far as the eye could see, imposing and gigantic. Dominating the horizon, the sound of steel being forged and machines that never rest was almost deafening. As we descended, the first waves of heat came from rivers of lava that serpentined between the metal structures. The environment was nearly unbearable, an intense heat that burned the skin, and the air was saturated with smoke and the metallic smell of the factories. The ground, covered by layers of black dirt, reverberated with the weight of machinery that never stopped. Here, there was no life in its purest form, only the coldness of the war production. This place is a reflection of the Obsidian Horde at its worst. The only thing that matters here is the creation of weapons. The hostility of Nezori is not only environmental. Every inch of this planet seems to have been shaped for a single purpose: to manufacture destruction. There is no beauty, there is no nature, only the brutality of a society completely devoted to the power of technology and war. This is the heart of the Obsidian Horde, where everything that exists is the obsession with the creation of weapons. A world where life is just an insignificant detail in the face of the creation of chaos. We know that the threat we are looking for is hidden among these ruins of iron and fire, but facing the Obsidian Horde here, in their territory, will be more challenging than we imagined. We entered the factories of Nezori disguised, trying to blend in with the local workers. The environment is claustrophobic and filled with machines that never stop working. The sound of steel hitting steel, the constant hum of gears, and the smell of burnt metal make everything even more oppressive. The factories are immense, labyrinthine, with narrow corridors and relentless security. Glass capsules with cameras and sensors are everywhere, watching every movement, every gesture. The tension is palpable, and every step we take seems to echo, laden with imminent danger. We are here to find out what is being produced and, more importantly, what the true nature of the Obsidian Horde's secret weapon is. But there is something that starts to catch my attention. Small clues that indicate that not everyone on Nezori is willing to blindly follow the leadership of the Obsidian Horde. As we walk through the production areas, I see some workers exchanging furtive glances, muffled murmurs that dare not rise to the ears of the supervisors. I realize there is a subtle resistance, a spark of rebellion that has not yet been extinguished. And this gives me a little hope. They know about the Obsidian Horde, but here, no one dares to speak out loud. If we are discovered, we will have no chance. The situation is becoming more dangerous than I imagined. Here, any mistake could be fatal, and the slightest suspicion could mean our death. But if we manage to reach the core of the production, we will have the information we need to sabotage the weapon that is about to change the course of the war. We know that within these walls, something much larger is being forged. And if the Nezorians know this and are willing to rise up, who knows what we might achieve by joining forces with them. But for now, We must be cautious, as any wrong move could lead us directly into the hands of the Obsidian Horde. As I move through the labyrinthine corridors of the factories, a growing sense of unease begins to take over me. The espionage operation is not going as planned, but somehow this leads me to a crucial point. In one of the less guarded areas, a group of Nezorians approaches us, discreetly and in a tense whisper, reveals to us what until then seemed like a simple theory. There is a secret resistance on Nezori. They lead us to a hidden place, an improvised operations center, where the silence is heavy and the words carry the weight of years of repression. The resistance is made up of scientists and political dissidents, people who have crucial information about what is being forged in the factories of Nezori, a weapon so powerful that it could destroy entire planets, a weapon that, if the Obsidian Horde has full control over it, will be able to change the course of the war. But there is something else, something that hits me with unexpected force. The Nezorians, despite being aware of the Obsidian Horde threat, are also victims of their own internal oppression. They are trapped between two fronts, the tyranny of their own planet and the external threat of an unrelenting alien invasion. This moral dilemma is what makes them even more vulnerable, but also more determined. The leader of the resistance, a man with a tired appearance but a penetrating gaze, looks at me with distrust. The pain and anger are palpable in his voice when he speaks. The Obsidian Horde is not our only enemy, Nolak. Here, we are made of iron and blood, but we can still fight if we have a chance. I know what he means. The fight will not be easy. No fight is. But, looking into their eyes, I see that we have something the Obsidian Horde will never have. A real motivation, a deep desire for liberation. Our goals may be different, but for now, they are aligned. I take a step forward, feeling the weight of the decision I am about to make. The words that come out of my mouth are filled with urgency and conviction. The resistance you offer is the only chance we have to stop what is coming. The alliance between us and the Nezorians is unlikely, but necessary. We need each other to survive this industrial hell. They have the strength, and we have the knowledge to defeat the Obsidian Horde. The game has changed. The resistance is our only chance for victory, and now, together, we must face them head-on. With the narrow corridors and the distant sound of the Nezori machines echoing through the walls, I follow the resistance scientist. His steps are quick and hesitant, as if urgency is trying to outpace him. He leads us to a hidden room, a sort of makeshift control center. The monitoring screens glow with constantly moving data lines, and holographic graphs float in the air. But it is the central image that freezes me. In the middle of the projection, a three-dimensional model begins to form, a dense, glowing sphere surrounded by rotating energy rings. I don't need to ask what it is. I know what I'm seeing, and every part of me refuses to believe it. This is impossible, I say, narrowing my eyes as I analyze the hologram. It's not possible to contain this kind of force in a controlled way. The resistance scientist shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the hologram. His hands are trembling as he adjusts the projection, zooming in on the energy core. It's not just a weapon, Nolak. It's the end. He replies, his voice tense. almost suffocated. They are not just invading, they are destroying the very essence of the planets. If activated, it will erase entire worlds from existence. The gravity of what he's saying settles in my chest like an anchor. I look at the team around me, each of them sharing the same look of shock and dread. An artificial supernova, a controlled recreation of one of the most destructive forces in the universe. They are not trying to conquer worlds. They are trying to erase them. Where is it being assembled? I ask, my voice already firm. There is no more room for hesitation. If they complete this, no planet will be safe in the galaxy. The scientist points to a highlighted point on the hologram. It's an underground facility, reinforced with layers of reinforced steel and automated defense systems. I analyze the data quickly. It won't be easy. It wasn't designed to be easy. They knew something like this would need to be protected with everything they had. Here, in the Deep Forge sector, he replies, it's at the core of the factory, the most protected part of all of Nezori. No transport or ship can get close without being detected. But if we can get to the core from the inside, maybe we can stop them before they activate the final sequence. I run my hand over my face, feeling the sweat mixed with the metallic dust of Nezori. The pieces are falling into place. This is it. This is where they're putting all their bets. They want the ultimate weapon, absolute power, not to win, but to erase. I look at my team and the members of the Resistance. I see the fear in their eyes, but I also see something more. I see the determination that only comes when everything is at stake. If we reach the core, we can't fail. There's no second chance, no margin for error. If they activate this supernova, nothing else will matter. I turn to the Resistance leader. How many men do you have who can fight? He hesitates, but not out of weakness. It's the look of someone who has made many sacrifices. Not enough. He replies, but the ones we have will give everything they've got. I take a deep breath and look again at the hologram. The sphere glows in the air, rotating in a constant cycle. It's as if I'm looking at the very end of the universe. Then let's do it. My voice comes out firm, but deep down, a part of me knows we're heading into the heart of hell. No matter what happens, this weapon will never be activated. The tension is palpable as I run through the dark, metallic corridors of the underground facility. The sound of footsteps echoes, mingled with the distant rumble of gunfire and explosions. The Nezorians fighting by our side are relentless, but the pressure is enormous. Every second counts, and every second we lose could mean the destruction of everything that exists. The resistance of Nezori, led by those who know what is at stake, spreads throughout the complex, attacking from all sides. But the security forces of Nezori are tireless. They are everywhere, blocking the corridors and protecting the access to the room where the artificial supernova is being assembled. I crouch behind a metal wall as I hear the hum of heavy weapons passing by me. The battlefield is impersonal. Everything is made of steel and iron. But in every face of the resistance, I see a reflection of the same desperation I feel. We know what's at stake here. If we don't deactivate this now, everything will be lost. I shout, my voice muffled by the pressure of the chaos around us. Quickly, to the central generators, I run forward. crossing the corridor that seems endless, but the sound of explosions is getting closer. I look at the team around me, each with their weapons raised and ready for anything. They know what we're facing, but they also know that the only chance to avoid catastrophe is to reach the core of the facility and deactivate the artificial supernova. We arrive at a large control room. The energy vibrates in the air, the electrical tension almost palpable. I look at the control panel, and a red glow lights up in my eyes. The artificial supernova is there, a vast device of pure energy. The digital countdown starts blinking. Let's go to the central generators, I order, running towards a blast door. The walls shake, and the floor seems ready to give way beneath our feet. The pressure of the mission is overwhelming. If we don't disable this now, if we fail, the universe, as we know it, will be erased. Explosions continue to shake the facility as we advance. Every step is a risk, and each risk seems to bring us closer to the end. The Nezori security forces are getting closer. I feel like time is running out. Hold on, we're almost there, I shout, my voice muffled by the sound of gunfire and bombs falling around us. An explosion nearby knocks us to the ground. The air is hot, and the walls start to give way. Seconds are left, not minutes. Each of us knows what's at stake. We can't fail now. Struggling to get up, I run to the control panel, the screen glowing red, with the countdown advancing relentlessly. My fingers fly over the buttons, trying to access the deactivation systems. Come on, damn system, I whisper through clenched teeth. If we don't do this in time, the galaxy will be destroyed. The last button is pressed. The panel flashes, and silence. The tension in the air decreases, but the sense of relief is temporary. I look at the resistance, and I can see the same expression of exhaustion and relief on everyone's faces. We did it, I say, exhausted. The supernova is deactivated. But before we can breathe easy, the sound of engines and alarms echoes through the walls. Something still isn't right. What else are they preparing? I reach the core of the artificial supernova, the room illuminated by a pulsating light that seems to drain all the energy from the facility. The outline of the supernova is a monstrosity of metal, with a threatening glow emanating from its core. The breath of everyone on the team is heavy. The tension is in the air. We're almost there, Nolak, shouts one of the resistance members, their voice muffled by the pressure of the environment. Just one more step. But as I approach the deactivation panel, an intense red light flashes. The security system has been activated. A security code appears on the screen, and the words "personal sacrifice required" glow in golden letters. My heart races. I knew the mission would be tough, but not like this. The words on the display are clear and cruel. To deactivate the supernova, one of us will have to pay the price. A personal power sacrifice that cannot be easily reversed. What does this mean? I ask, my voice trembling. I'm not just talking to the other members of the resistance. I'm asking aloud. What does a personal power sacrifice mean? What exactly is at stake here? The leader of the resistance, who has remained silent until now, approaches and looks at the panel. This system is designed to ensure that the weapon is never turned off without a price, he says. It needs vital energy. This means that someone will have to give up a part of themselves, of their life force, to stop the activation. The words cut through the air like sharp blades. The weight of what is being suggested becomes clear, and the look on everyone's face reflects a bitter understanding. I look at the panel again. The countdown is nearing 0. The security ships are approaching the facility, and the fight is far from over. Every second we spend here is a greater risk of failure. The sacrifice is inevitable. But who will it be? My fingers hesitate over the panel. I look at the team. They are silent too, waiting for a decision. They know that if we fail here, everything we've done so far will be in vain, and the solar system will be destroyed. With a heavy sigh, I run my hand over the screen, accepting what comes next. I'll do it, I say, my voice tense, my decision already made. Before anyone can protest, I confirm the code. A wave of energy runs through my body, and excruciating pain starts to take over every cell. I feel my life force being drained. But I know it's the only way. The artificial supernova starts to slow, its glowing outline fading slowly. We did it, I murmur, exhausted, almost voiceless. But the room shakes. The floor starts to collapse. The facility is crumbling around us. The resistance members begin to run, shouting orders, and the facility begins to fall apart, the walls shaking with the force of external explosions. There are only a few minutes before everything collapses on top of us. The exit is narrow. The path to safety is now a race against time. I can barely stand, but I know I need to get out. The pain I feel is deep, almost unbearable, but the victory is ours. The supernova has been deactivated. The galaxy is saved. Let's go, fast. I shout, my voice failing. The exit is there. I run with what little strength I have left, my vision blurry as the facility collapses around us. A colossal explosion behind us threatens to swallow everything, but we manage to reach the exit in time. Exhausted, gasping for air, and covered in dust, we finally step into the open field, far from the destruction now engulfing the facility. I look at the faces of the resistance, at my comrades, and smile with relief, though the weight of pain still consumes me. We did it, but the price was high, I say, with a mix of exhaustion and relief. Every victory costs more than we imagined, and even knowing that the fate of the galaxy has been saved, I can't help but think of what awaits us next. The sacrifice we made is just the beginning of a much greater struggle. After the escape from the facility, the silence of space surrounds us, as if the universe is pausing to digest what happened. The chaos of the battle already seems distant, but the tension remains, sharp like the void around us. We are safe. But the victory over the artificial supernova is not the end. We continue aboard the ship, the Resistance and I, breathing deeply after the storm. Some of us are injured, physically and emotionally. The weight of what we've just faced still lingers in our minds. The loss of forces, the sacrifice of each of us to stop the supernova, all of this weighs on our souls, as if the universe itself is demanding a price from us. I look out at space, at the distant stars, the infinite void stretching ahead. The glow of a new day is still far away. The galaxy, though saved, is far from at peace. Destroying a weapon doesn't mean ending the war. I murmur to myself, once again aware of the enormity of what we've faced. The mission has been completed, but the battle is far from over. There is still much to face, and the worst may be yet to come. The words resonate in my mind. What else will we have to sacrifice? How far will the resistance go? The fight against the Obsidian Horde is not just about winning battles. It's about resisting an unstoppable force that isn't content with just destroying planets. It wants to destroy hope. And as long as they are out there, the war will continue. The faces of the resistance are thoughtful. They know what we're up against. They know how hard the road ahead will be. But looking at them, I see something that gives me a new sense of purpose. The determination to fight, even when the price is too high. I close my eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of the universe on me. But I also know that in every sacrifice, there is an opportunity. In every pain, there is a chance for something greater to be born. The war is not over, but now, more than ever, we are ready to face what comes next. With the artificial supernova deactivated and the galaxy still breathing in relief, the silence that follows our victory is interrupted by an urgent transmission. The message comes through, cold and direct, cutting through the void of space. The name of the planet shines on the screen. Helmaris, the tone of emergency is clear. The Obsidian Horde has attacked, and the danger is imminent. They know we're closer to discovering their plans, closer to ending their tyranny. Helmaris, I murmur, my gaze fixed on the screen. If the Obsidian Horde is attacking there, it's because they know we're getting closer. We need to act fast. The tension on the ship grows immediately. The team, though exhausted, reacts with the same determination as always. The war that seemed to have given a truce is far from over. The battle against the Obsidian Horde has only intensified, and now Helmaris is the next target. With the threat so close, I know we are at a point of no return. The galactic resistance will be tested like never before. What comes next will not just be a battle. It will be a test of sacrifices and impossible choices. In the next episode, the screen fades for a moment, and a new message appears. I will face a new threat on Helmaris, where the galactic resistance will be put to the test in a scenario of despair and sacrifice. Don't miss it.